game ready, steady aim at the target. I'm flooding the market, a break from the garbage. An artist, sensitive about mind pardon. No margin for error, flawless be rarer. The black cat goddess, you walking with a panther. Painting these pictures with words like
Trap, and welcome to the official Sort in the Game album review of Russ's Chomp. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let's get it. Now I'm gonna tell you right here, first and foremost, my distaste with Russ does not come from his music. It comes from his attitude and his outward disrespect towards other artists on the come up that is not of his same nationality, you feel me? That is not of his same thing, and he does not understand how much easier it is for other rappers outside the community to come into the game and actually hold a valid fan base. He likes to throw that in a lot of people's faces along the way. So that's my real riff with him. The same way I say, like, you know, Post Malone is a culture vulture because of comments he said about, hip hop is not emotional and all of these things and stuff like that. It's how I feel about Russ, how he feels about his place in music based off of a fan base over other rappers. Now, you don't have to do any of that to toot your own horn. You don't have to do any of that to say that you're on top or you're the man or whatever. You could be very, very gracious in this respect, in this fact. But he's not, and this is the problem I have with him. Now, this is his second project of the year. The first one, Shake the Snow Globe, which I said on here, Rick Ross gave Russ his hottest feature for 2020 on the track, Guess What? You feel me? He also gave us Benny the Butcher's worst feature we ever seen on this album as well. So I was really, really curious when I saw the features on here, how strong they were, but let's pick it apart a little bit. Let's get into it. Now, the first track on here is called Stockholm Syndrome, featuring King Crooked. Crooked Eye, he's coming off of 16 Chapel, Hard with Joa Ortiz. He just dropped Fire EP Flag, so he's out here working. And this track is properly named. This track is properly named Stockholm Syndrome because Russ kicks off the track, and then he does that on all of the tracks on here. That's, all of the tracks on here with features, he's kicking it off. And he has to kick it off because he knows that if he lets somebody else kick it off, we will never hear his verse. We're not going to rock it all the way out to his verse. So he's very smart in that respect. But on here, this is where I was like, you know what? Russ has to be real careful when he's selecting the people he's trying to rap next to, because yes, it looks good on paper, but every feature on here is out rapping him except for one. I'm gonna get to it in a minute or two. But Stockholm Syndrome is when the person that is held hostage gets an infatuation with the person that's holding them hostage, and that's exactly what it sounds like is happening here. It sounds like, Crooked Eye has kidnapped Russ, you feel me? And Russ is trying to keep up with him lyrically, even though we hear it in the reverses just not happening like that. So, but it was very, very strong. Like King Crooked actually burnt this down to the ground. So I definitely appreciate that. The next track on here, Who Wants What, featuring Ab-Soul. Again, it's these bars right here, that Russ says, I own property and land, I'm in popular demand. Because the category is long, I got more songs than Robert Plant. And it's like, my guy, who the fuck wants to hear any of that? It's the content. Like, he puts together good music, he knows how to flow, but what he be rapping about, nobody on this side cares about, dog. And I appreciate your efforts and all of this, but it's not happening like that. This also was the thing where he had the promo of Rap City, a ticket in the basement, and him and Ab-Soul was down there. And some of y'all new niggas out here really was like, when was Russ on Rap City? Never. He's not old enough to be on a Rap City. But I do want to point out, the same way he's able to get that type of shit off, it's the same way he's gotten all these features off on here. Like, he's probably paying these people double to spit with him. Just be clear here. He's probably paying everybody fucking double for their features. And if they're smart, they're going to ask for double to rap alongside him, because it doesn't do anything for anybody's fan base to have, a Russ feature or say that they work with Russ. Nobody brings this up. This is this is just some fucking real, hush money going on here, like hush money. You got to be paying all these people double to be rapping next to you. I'm gonna just put that shit out there real quick. Ab Soul on here, he refers to himself as KRS too, and like once Ab started spitting on here, like we just came off of Crooked Eye doing it. Ab Soul, I was like, Russ is on Trouble on this album. This is his album, but he's on Trouble. He's like he's on some trouble. He's in some trouble with this shit because it's not. It's no way like that shit is just gonna pan out right. Now the next track on here, Inside Job, DJ Premier beat. You feel me? DJ Premier, he is scratching up a Method Man upside, downside, inside, outside. He's scratching that across the album. Always good to hear Premier doing what Premier does work. But this is what I said. I said Russ content don't matter to me. Like his content on all of these tracks, it don't matter to me. And I found myself appreciating Logic. Like I found myself appreciating Logic where Logic would have murdered these shits really though. Like just putting it out there, just saying that. Like if you think of it, and I'm not a Logic fan at all, you feel me? But if Logic had these strong features or over this production and stuff, it would be a whole different ball game. Like a lot of these tracks don't need Russ on there because he's not putting nothing valid to the table when it comes down to this shit. So it is what it is. The next track, Line 'Em Up with Busta Rhymes. He's coming off of LELE2, which a lot of y'all have mixed reviews about. A lot of y'all saying that it's high up there for the year. A lot of y'all saying it's low up there, that it's gassed up. This is the only time Russ actually like could compare to a verse on here, and that's because Busta goes off topic. And he's not being like animated or anything. He just goes completely off the top. Like line him up to me means line him up. You coming in and do some dirty work. Busta, he really took like a more sexual approach to this. He talking about getting head and it like it made me think for real though, like who is fucking Busta Rhymes seriously? And I'm sorry, and I don't mean to be disrespectful or rude because I know he got like 6 kids and all of this stuff. So somebody is giving him the buns, but. Dog, I couldn't imagine or picture myself. So whenever I hear Busta Rhymes saying anything like that, I instantly got nauseous at the thought process behind this because that shit would be like fucking Gordo out of Mortal Kombat or one of these niggas. Like, I really couldn't do it. This is by far like the weakest track on this whole EP. But the EP is entertaining. I ain't gonna lie to you. Last track on here, Momentum. Featuring Black Thought and Benny the Butcher. Like I said again, like you have a Black Thought feature, and you need to vindicate yourself from giving us one of the worst Benny the Butcher features we've heard. You feel me? And you say a bar like, "We in Utah, so we fuck the jazz," and I just was like, boo, boo, boo. Anybody else could have had this like line up and the shit would have been way stronger, but it's just Russ. He's not talking about nothing valid, nothing permanent. It's not street. It's mediocre on, even if you're on like a square type vibe, because I call nigga a square any given time of day, but even then it's like really just weak. Like it's just so weak what he be going on here, but I appreciate the musicality of it. Like, I appreciate the musicality. I appreciate his flow, his delivery. But the content, dog, we got to change the content. We're going to go any further in this. Benny bent this shit as always. Black Thought bent this shit. And again, like I said, he's paying a lot of money for these features out there because no way you would just want to line up with Russ or say that you work with Russ and you hear Russ's work. Like, this shit is nuts. But I don't have nothing bad to say. I said everything bad I need to say. I don't got nothing particularly good to say about the shit neither. But he has his fan base. He has his own thing going on over there. So he's gonna do what he's gonna do. One of these tracks too, he wanted to play hard too and remind everybody how he had his crew beat up Guap Dad 4000. And I was like, yeah, that's really nice. Like, we want to hear this shit all this time later. That was on the track with Absol. So he got his little, I try to get his little flex on, like he's hard out here in the street. Nobody don't believe that, dog. And that was all your crew's work. You ain't do too much of that no way, but I'm about to get out of here. I'm Meta Money. You can follow me on Twitter and IG at Meta Money Says. That's MADAMMONEYSAYS. Let me know how you feel about the project. Who has the strongest feature on here? Who is the strongest feature on here? Because we definitely know it's none of Russ verses is comparing to anything that anybody did on this project. But I'll be seeing you guys.
The beast back, Bloodgate, she unleashed that. Ease back, you don't know where my peeps at. I keep that heat.